Skræða 12, Yule Þorri Gói, our old Icelandic meaningful names of months. Þorri, Dorri, Hrútur, Ram, in Ídalir of Ullur. Gói, Cow, Auðumbla phrase in Álfheimar. All about sun and zodiac signs. Freyjuketti, Norræn menning, 2014. Now we use the names of the Roman Caesars, Julius and Augustus, and Latin numbers sept, opt, no, des, respectively 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Augustus may be a good word as such auguri, odious and other positive terms, but we know that this CE Roman calendar and names of months is strategy. CE Tertiary era. Romans are no dupes when it comes to cunning strategy. They even use the word Dios in their theocracy. That was smart. This has created great confusion, as actually was the whole plot from the beginning, because people mix up theocracy, power tool, and theosophy, true Gnostic. Mars is an ancient god, a peaceful prosperity god among Etruscs. Ares is originally Kouros, god of fertility in Thracia. Our Tyr responds to Mars and Ares, Kouros. Tyr stands for divine law and man-made law which is just. Tyr is righteousness and the valor to defend for justice. The supreme strategy, Dhanurved, is no enemy will be born. Sun in which zodiac sign is the theme in our ancient times time counting. Most likely a new year began around vernal equinoxes. Sun in Taurus, Gói, Icelandic Gói is from Sanskrit go, cow, cattle. Sun in Aries, Hrútur, Ram, Þorri, Dorri, Meh, Mesha, Fé, Wool, Aries. I assume we moved our older names of months towards the New Year's Day. All the other older names are of meaning nowadays, like Þorri and Gói. Romans, on the contrary, slipped 2 months in front of the older ones. Sept, oct, nov, des became 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Jólin, our Yule, are winter-solstice, then days start to grow longer again. Seasons are due to Earth axis being skewed. Google Earth axis. Möndull, Mundilfari, is mandala. He makes a circle in 26,000 years when he walks. Sun and her ray on Earth, Earth and her Mundilfari. We should understand how Mundilfari being skewed makes our seasons on Earth. Álfheimar are bright when we go there. Our usual daylight is dull in comparison. Everything subtle is awake around the Yuletide. Álfheimar phrase are awake and open during this time of year. Álfar, elves, are delicate. They are subtle elver, rivers and channels in us. These channels in us should never be clogged. We should keep them open. Elves dance around the bonfire as I picture them as a bairn. We own many olden cycles. We should live in flow with them. They are natural. Powerful digestion. Our physiology finds the cycles, lives in them, behaves according to them. Metabolism is at highest peak at midday, sun on highest point on southern sky. At that time, we should have our main meal. During night, there is another kind of metabolism at work, our body metabolizing. Then we should allow our stomach to rest and the body sleep during night. It is good for our body cycles to go early to bed and rise early, natural to us. It is fun to learn the older Icelandic names of our months and understand how they flowed on during the year according to seasons, meaningfully. Then see how they seem to have been pushed forwards to the new year, thereby losing their meaning in true context. We shall also consider etymology, the original meaning of their names. Harpa, Ankarma, Varmi, heat, implies it must have been later in the year. Þorrablót, Dorrablót, is actually not in its correct time, according to meaning. The sun in zodiac house Aries, Ram, Dorri, Þorri. At that time of the year, fresh food was not available. Dried, salted, smoked only, and food kept in the sour skyr and misa, sýra. Delicious food. This is Dorri, Þorri. Here we have Skessan. My theory is Mother Nature in disguise. And Ólafur Möður, who did not go from Hólar to Skálholt, as in the olden folklore, to correct the calendar, because Skessan taught him how not to forget Jesus' birthday again. Skessan told Ólafur Möður how we always saw the death and resurrection of Baldur, thousands of years before the Roman Anno Domini Zero invention. This is ancient Yule. In my new story of the event, Hólar lost track of time. Skessan is Mother Nature. During the dark ages of Iceland, under foreign churchianity rules, it was forbidden to admire nature, her beautiful sunsets, the beauty of the sky and earth. They claimed a horrible and dangerous Gessa to live in the mountains and eat men. One story is about the wife of a priest who angrily scolded her sons for sitting at the window to admire sunset. She pulled the curtains and told them to pray to God. Ancient wisdom tells us to transcend the three guna, þursa meir þrír, of nature, but starving the senses is not the way to purity. We should refine our senses by transcending. Then we perceive nature as a whale and see that she really is only Ginnungagap. This purity counts for refined senses. Here we have an example of how the ancient wisdom can be misunderstood and turned to its opposite. The surface value of seeing nature as if it were for real cannot be lived as the whole truth. Too often we come across ceremonies and rituals that are surface rubbish only, fakes, put on stage, superficial actions without foundation and profundity, mimicry. In my new story of Ólafur Mother, Skessan, personification of Mother Nature, personification actually invented by some prevailing dominant churchianity, either by Byzantine Empire, Catholic or Lutheran Protestants. They were all here, who were all the time killing each other due to their insatiable power greed. Skessan teaches Ólafur to hnýsast niður, transcend nature, and now he sees what nature really is, a whale. We are not born to hurry. What parents hear all the time, hurry up darling, mom's getting late, or hurry up my beloved Ben, or you will be late for school. Even darkness mass, Christ mass, Yule, is becoming a breeding ground for stress. In some big cities, traffic accidents, even deaths, are taken for granted. Perhaps that running out of time tyrant destroys not only our health, but also our evolution on our long evolutionary path, as men do not have the time to understand why we live on Earth. Stress-related diseases means dis-ease, lack of ease and tranquility. Untimely death can easily be avoided by ease and tranquility gained by transcending. The Jesus baby in the cradle is symbolic for the birth of the light, not only at winter solstice in the north around 21st December, note on the southern hemisphere around 22nd June, but also the birth of light in the life of every man when he is mature enough to understand the purpose of his life. Valkyrja, Askur, Embla, 3 roots. Personifications have been a part of cultures for thousands of years. Not only so that pictures come easy to us, but also their utility to explain the unseen. Our body is in the same image as the universe, and the Veda mirrors the perfect order of Ginnungagap. This order is our Rán in Ægir. All possibilities are at hand. There is nothing we cannot do. The gap does not actually take part in acts, even if it is the foundation of all creations. Ginnungagap is singularity, unity, no duality. That does not change by the creations of universes. Universes are but gungnir, these unfathomable vibrations, out of which we, in our minds, make all our worlds and stuff. We make our universe of Ymir, the sounding. Make Ymir. Ymir is nothing but sounds and gungnir. We would probably term gungnir as quarks or leptons, perhaps, if the word gungnir, waves, vibrations, were not such a delightful term. Personifications and our stories, God spells, convey lots of knowledge. It is only our lack of understanding that makes us see them as silly stuff. Danish yule-boys, about 1945 to 50. Here we see Hermóður ourselves, Hermóður, warrior, or Hermóður, grief-struck, fetching Baldur, Jesus, rising sun, light of the world, from hell on winter solstice. Or we are realizing our utter stagnation, death, on our path to the light of life, the deeper sense of resurrection to be a necessity for every man. Nature's festival. All soul guð, sun gods, in history rise from hell again. All of them always take a trip to hell regularly. Jesus is still another soul guð, rises from death on third day, as do they all. Here, in this context, hell is more than night coffee break between lifespans. She also indicates nature's rest and refreshing cycles. When men visit Glaðheimar, return refreshed, restored, as in the word restaurant, They are said to be reborn, dvíja, twice born. To nísa niður is in Icelandic dá, dvínun, djana, a break from tríkuna. We unite individual consciousness and universal consciousness. Yoke means union, yoke to oneness. What about Kore, seed, who dwells with Hades 1/2 of the year? And the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. The problem with personifications, as brilliant as they are for conveying the knowledge and wisdom, is that they are seen as people, living or dead people. If they have been living men who taught the wisdom to the mob, they themselves are often turned into an object of worship. Personification of powers and phenomena becomes people, and in turn men are turned into something supreme and more than our eyes see. Konjunktio sive, sól og tungl í samstöðu, Rosarium Philosophorum, sun and moon. Norse and Germanic sun is feminine, our Máni moon masculine. We here in the North have been stuffed up with Latin, Greek, Hebrew terminology from dominating institutions. People were told to worship terms they did not understand. Our rune script was changed out. Our months calendar made suit at Roman Empire. They there down south made that new calendar for their empire and imposed it upon us. Invented the anno zero, not correctly calculated in the first place, as a special Rome zero. Nothing was said to have happened before the 23rd October, 4004 before zero, at 9 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. We try to keep our mother tongue, Icelandic, as pure as possible, rid ourselves of Danish words, English words, translating every new term into Icelandic. So how about translating all these old Latin, Greek, Hebrew terms into our language? That pollution, which has been used without anyone understanding the meaning of it. Icelandic Páskar, Easter, is an example, means to kill lambs in spring. It could even be Exodus, symbolic Moses story, allegory, not history, not real happening, but freed from fetters of ignorance, seeking higher stages of evolution. Icelanders do not understand the word Páskar, used for Easter, in its real meaning. In the desert down south there is no grass during summer due to lack of rain. In North Africa and South Europe they might have eaten the lambs in spring. Here we have grass only in summer. To have hay for animals all winter was a hard task. We slaughtered in autumn and had our ways to preserve food during winter, nowadays þorrablót food. When cultures are relocated and imposed upon others, the meaning drowns. What is left is empty, superficial values only, ungrounded cliché and creeds. Our Icelandic word veturungur, 1 winter old, is for an animal that has lived his first winter. The word veturungur is of Sanskrit stem of varsa, rain, the time of year in April. Happy New Year, Navavashaki, Shubhakama Nanem, comes from my Indian friends in spring. The Vedic calendar is not man-made, it's made by natural law. It seems as if Þorri, Dorri, Ram, Mesha, Aries, and Gói, Bull, Vrisha, Taurus, were dragged out of context, and the whole lot along in their old order, all of them now out of context according to their meaning. The new year should be Jólin, winter-solstice. The word Jól is still here. Down south, birth, Natalia. The same meaning, birth of light of the world. Of course, the other way around, south of equator, Google Earth's axis. Earth around sun, mundilfari makes a mandala, sun rays, earth skewed axis. During the dark ages in Iceland, people had to work hard for food and shelter. We were under churchianity and did not know how to nísa niður. Nature and her laws were not always going our way. In one lucky case, hay was gotten in the barn in autumn without drastic difficulties. The happy farmer said, "We will play cards at Yule." We did celebrate eating pancakes when haymaking was finished, but spare time to play cards never was, except perhaps at Yule. But it so happened that the rain poured down before the hay had dried. So a farmer became angry, pointed his fist towards the sky and shouted, "Þú nýtur þess Guð að ég næ ekki til þín. Thou art lucky God that I cannot reach thee." We didn't know that nature is as we are. That whimsical new God up there was drastically irritating. When we transcend, orderliness of laws of nature is imbibed into life. not only into our physiology, our bodies, but also into the surroundings. Rán is perfect orderliness in ægir. Regla means order, rugl disorder. Ambient qualities are the same as our own qualities. Nature behaves as we qualify. A highly evolved nation, that is, a nation living high stages of consciousness, creates orderliness and harmonizing effects in her land. Rain comes in the right time. Laws of nature work for the highly evolved nation. If men are not living from unity, that is, if they live rugl on the picture, do not nísa niður, not evolved, they disturb the harmony and infinite correlation. Note, high technologies and use-efficient machines are not that which can save us from all evil and make nature behave. At Christianity's Southern Europe, later invention is, we have only one life. Hastily we shall repent our sins before we die, pay money for forgiveness. Or as ads use it today, we have only one life, live it. Meaning, of course, buy a lot of stuff. We have the supply, buy lots before you die. Yes, indeed, there is only one life. Only life is. Death exists not. Nothing ever dies. Life implies many lifespans to enjoy, even millions of lifespans as a man, because some take so much time to realize spiritual evolution. Shortcut to valhall is to nísa niður all the lifetime. The fourth stage is a bridge. Expand our individual consciousness, rid ourselves of sin, ignorance, stress, disharmony, imbibe perfect orderliness and perfect health. It pays off to nísa niður, water the roots, as that is what fruits need. When we live higher stages of evolution, we will rise above our skuld. Our skuld still comes to us all, even to the enlightened ones, but it is practical in everyday life to be an einherji. Then, when we are einherjar, we do not get kicked up and down by happenings. Effects of instances do not endure, do not mark deeply. All our worldly cycles still are there, now only delightful and beautiful. The cycle and the ring do not simply bite their own tail. They are wheels, perhaps Jól, who carry us forward steadily and securely. Cycles stand for evolution. Evolve means to roll out, unfold. In ancient siðir, plural of siður, these cycles are cherished and lived. They might not be seen, but known to be. Cycles were before mankind showed up, and ginnungagap has always been and will always be. We should live in flow and harmony with our cycles and scoop harmony and perfect balance into life, never ever violate the laws of nature. Freyr is Guð árs og friðar. Lord Freyr is the god of prosperity and peace. Við óskum árs og friðar. We wish prosperity and peace. Ár here means a good prosperous year. When prosperity blossoms, peace prevails, vegetation grows, we have food. My theory is that our jólasveinar could be our forefathers. They are definitely not wearing cardinal red clothes like the Catholic cardinals. We can assume that we have worshipped forefathers. We have given them food during Yuletide, offering to forefathers. Then Christianity had bound that dedication to them, but we did not stop giving them. This is my theory. We innocently lied, oh, they stole some food from us. Effort was made to make jólasveinar the bad guys, whatever was the idea behind that. I wonder if some customs were here with us at the settlement and thenceforth. We still put candles and evergreens on graves of our relatives at Yule. Nowadays, bairns receive expensive Yule presents, but in the olden days, bairns gave gifts to nature. It is good to learn to give. Pindada, rice ball, pindodaka. Is that our Yule rice pudding? Bairns should revere their forefathers, give the elves and nature, feed the birds when all is covered by snow. Jólnir is Odin at Yule. Bairns should give Jólnir's reindeers hay and oats to make them strong when Jólnir rides the skies. This is an ancient Norse custom, because Jólnir chases away wights of cold and darkness at Yuletide. Röddhan, röðull í reið. Road sign for hof. Cycles. Celtic cross. Some bairns make a list of what they want, not a list of what they can give nature. buy own. Not so good programming. Might it be so that the grown-ups buy far too much to give the bairns? On the back of this card, til mömmu, to mom. Of course, no one should be left out. Some were poor and got no Yule present. Perhaps that is still happening. In Icelandic, fara í jólaköttin. Not good, hurts. Nobody cares for me, nobody loves me. The Yule cat eats the one who gets no Yule present. We should avoid overexcitement. That can ruin Yule. We end up unhappy as the stress has upset the tranquility of nature at Yule. The presents tell us that someone loves us. Open them with reverence and thankfulness. They are love wrapped up in fancy paper. Good surprises, somewhat hidden out of sight. Beautiful symbolic tokens of love. When we do something for others, we are giving force to nature's cycles. Nature is happy when we are good. The cycles, like Yule, are nature's cycles. Skræða number 4, the vicious cycle. Beware of the nuisance cycles, which we do not see. Vicious cycles should be broken. For that we can perform ullarhylli. That is, we nísumst niður regularly, nose down, transcend. Yule and Easter are feasts of light and life, not of slaughter and death. Such sin disturbs the cycle of evolution. If we kill, we destroy or disturb the evolutionary path of a living being. That is a sin. The sieve of sin is thereby clogged, brings bad skuld, and creates impurity, ama, in our physiology. We partake in sin by eating what has been killed. We have many imported customs, perhaps from North Africa or Southern Europe, imported perhaps along with Roman stuff and that conquest, even if the Romans actually used the pagan Yule in a new Roman dress. Now the Pope claims to be Jesus incarnated, and some mix up Jesus and Santa. The Etruscs I know in northern Italia, men whose eyes are the color of moon silver, tell me that the Romans stole and killed. Romans stole their culture and skill in technique possessed by the Etruscs. Also in the rest of Europe they stole and killed. They stole Yule. They stole the pure theosophy and Gnostic to abuse. There is a story about a troll who stole the surface of Yule, the decor, but the strategy of the Romans was to leave the surface, steal the interior. Christianity claimed festivals. They substituted hours with the ones they could control. Christianity claimed places and buildings, and so controlled religious activity which was carried out there. Spiritual values were abused. All was dedicated to the domination, to the Caesar. Many good concepts were abused for waging wars. Even the concepts from Gnostic they abused to have them suit their power greed. It is about time for us to rediscover our forni siður. Its roots are very old. Forni siður evolved with us in our land and the laws of nature here. Forni siður cannot be used as a tool for domination, and no money is involved. Do we know that longings and desire is good? They are the driving force in our life. By all means seek the highest, only the highest, never anything base. If we heighten our consciousness, the quality of our longings becomes higher. A pure man has good thoughts, desires, words and acts. It is not necessary to refuse the world, simply do not overindulge in stuff for the senses. The senses are insatiable. Starvation does not make them pure. Cravings snooze. If we would like to have a good world, the easiest way is to become an einherji. Then the world is sheer joy and play. Do we choose to be born so that we can work for stuff? Yes, men of low stages of evolution are. Toys are the most delightful about life. So men need to work and work and work and work, so they can buy more and more and more stuff and toys. Yule are designed especially for buying and wanting toys. Want, buy, own, want, buy, own, want, buy, own. Remember this, my beloved buyers. Grown-up should teach their bairns to buy. This vicious cycle is of the nature that the more we buy, the more we need to buy. I run a thriving business while Kali Yuga lasts. I wonder if we have forgotten or nobody told us why we are born. Who actually tells us about the purpose of life if mom and dad do not know why we are born? The teacher doesn't teach us about it, the less the priests, and we cannot read about it anywhere. We come across symbolic language like hamur, gandreið, but we are not geese or swans, gander, goose. Who believes that rubbish about men flying in a feather guise? Can we blame ourselves for not understanding when the culture and knowledge of our reverend ancestors, our ancient knowledge, is not understood by the grown-ups? The knowledge is always here with us. Yes, we are to blame for not seeing. Our ancient siður, we do not know how old, has lived in a guise. It contains the eternal truth, so it can never die. We will understand the abyss of meaning in our forni siður when someone teaches us, and we can really get the direct experience of it. Understand intellectually and learn to nísa niður, ég gefin sjálfu mér, plunge into ægir, feast in glaðheimar of consciousness. Is this flying? Do angels exist? We need to die out of the body to become angels, right? Angels exist, and we can fly in our bodies fully alive when we are pure. Countless examples of flying people are stated. Perhaps we are still too coarse to both fly and to find the angels. We should peel off old prohibiting foils, chaff, so the real we can blossom. Nísumst niður, let's transcend. That is what our forefathers did to become pure. The technique is always rediscovered. We find it in hávamál, rúnatal. What is useless? What is fjæðurhamur? Hamsa in Sanskrit is swan, hemd in German, of same stem, a shirt. We should live in the flow with our nature's cycles, never violate the laws of nature. Nature is ámátk, powerful, árborin, born in the very beginning of creation. Let us understand the Yule and cycles. Our body is the very device to use for evolving, and it has the cycles and the rhythm of nature. Why does not anyone tell us about living in flow with the flawless dharma, that which upholds? Why does not anyone tell us why we are here? Doesn't anyone know nowadays? Find the flow, live in tune, seek feeling for the cycles, not only surface decor. Head towards perfection, using a lifespan and our perfect bodies for that. Gothrun Dimbla, my teacher, Maharishi, Indian physicist, points out to us where to find the knowledge and the understanding, and he teaches us the technique to transcend nísa niður. Best of thank, Maharishi, my great teacher. Knowledge cannot be given by anyone. The pupil gains the knowledge from within himself. He is consciousness, where all wisdom and knowledge abides. We shall understand why we decide to be born, what the real and only purpose and goal of each our lifespan on earth are. Find the sheer beauty and profundity of our reverend forefathers' wisdom, knowledge, science of life, science of consciousness. We shall understand and appreciate the wisdom contained in our spiritual and cultural heritage. Óðsmál research supported by the Ministry of Culture and Education. Here we have websites and online lectures. Books available on Amazon. Nísið niður, nemið upp fimbulrúnir. Transcend to gain skill in action. The vital point of living vor forni siður, our ancient tradition, is first to understand intellectually this connection to oneself. Ég gefin sjálfu mér, I given to myself, transcend the triguna of nature, and then to practice nísast niður, transcend as a routine every day. The purpose of life is to become pure, to evolve to enlightenment. This is to get to Valhall fully alive. Nísa niður is the bridge, bifrost, to higher stages of consciousness.